nothing to be tensed up
Right.
about. Just come and have a conversation. Like you say, you've been out here, uh, already, so you know.
It's nice out here.
It's
Quiet
gives
is
you
different.
very different. I came back, 2015, 16, and I was so used to living outside the city. I decided to come and work outside the city and stay outside the city. So
Oh, that was a good idea.
yeah, you bring it up to you. You want, there you go. But yeah, that's what it is. So welcome to Street Recovery. I'm your host, Crenshaw. Today we have pretty fine young lady that's been through some things in life and doing what she's supposed to be doing. Today we have Miss Tiffany Padgett. Miss Padgett, how you doing?
Yes, I'm finding yourself.
I'm just doing what I'm supposed to be doing, trying to do something. I'm trying to get to your level, I tell you that.
Ooh.
Oh, hey, that's greatness, though. You're still moving. We had a conversation, yesterday, and we spoke about social media.
Oh, yeah.
You know, we're going there with this. So, social media. A lot of people like to be nosy about any and everything. And it's one of those things where sometimes you just can't be genuine with whatever you got going on without some people coming in hating and saying whatever. How are you dealing with this social media stuff when you're trying to do right and support and help people? How are you dealing with this?
Well, it's a plus and a minus because, like I stated yesterday, when I first started out, I probably had about 152 to 200 followers. And it was just like posting pictures of the family or being out or, just having a good time, not thinking about nothing else but
Yes.
to post pictures because that's what it was used for in the beginning, was just to post pictures. And I think you can barely even leave a saying or anything at the bottom. I just can't remember. But then in 2016, my brother was murdered. And in the midst of him being murdered, it was a kid. He got killed down on Louise Harris.
Okay.
And at the time, we was owning a hair salon. And it came across the news. And me and one of my coworkers, we was like, well, let's go take the family some food and, show our condolence. So we went over and, spoke to the lady or whatever. And then on our way back, like 2 days later, we got a phone call. Well, I got a phone call from the little boy's grandmother. And she was like, she needed somebody to do his hair. And that's what I do. I go
Yeah.
to different funeral homes and, do the deceased hair, lashes. So I was like, okay, well, I'll do it. So I went to the funeral home, and it was an upcoming funeral home, just open
Yes.
on Union. So I went over there. She was like, I just need you to, touch his hair up because he was outside playing football. And I was like, okay. So when I got there, I was like, I just can't touch his hair up. I'm going to take it all the way down, because if it was my baby, this the last time I'm seeing my son.
You want them to-
I want him to look, presentable. So I took his hair down. I get a phone call. And in the midst of me doing his hair, braiding his hair back up, I'm taking the bobby pins out of the container, and I'm opening them with my mouth, and I'm putting them in his hair. But I'm not thinking, I'm on the phone. Okay, I'll be there in a minute. So when I left, I started to feel real sick, like real sick. It had to be about 85 degrees outside, and I was freezing cold.
Mm.
And it's hot outside. And I went through this like for about 4 or 5, 6 hours. And I'm like, my mother like, well, you probably need to go to the hospital. Oh, it's nothing. I shake it off.
Yeah.
So then later on, once the temperature dropped and it was cold, I began to get hot. And my mother was like, okay, well, you're not about to die in here. So I went to the hospital. I was in the hospital for a couple of days. And that's when I went into a coma.
Whoa.
Yeah.
How did all that happen?
They couldn't find a reason. They were saying that I had pneumonia. It can be pneumonia or anything, but the end result was that I caught septic through my whole body.
Oh.
So while all of this was going on, my brother, he was at the football game with his son, and he ended up getting killed on MLK.
Oh.
So I'm at the hospital with my cousin, and she's calling my mother to tell her, like, it's not looking good for her. She might not make it. And at the same time, her mother is calling her to tell her that my brother had just been murdered.
You know, as a mom, your mom, going through that and hearing that, I don't know how she took that, but that's enough to put a person through some things in life. Many mothers go through this thing in life where their children are leaving before them. Mom is okay, moving on in life, but these things mentally, it takes a major breakdown on the parent. Let's say this, Mom, how is she doing today?
Oh, she's fine. She's been sober now for about 2.5, 3 years, and
Good.
she's good with her grandkids. She's an amazing grandmother. Like I always say, if you still got your mom today, be grateful. And I wouldn't change her for nothing in the world. She helps out in ways that I can't even imagine.
It's great to have your family still around to help you with certain things, kids and situations. You going through that situation, it's tough. There's no words I can express or say going through that, seeing and witnessing a brother in a violent situation takes a toll on you. At the same time, as you said, you were dealing with your own situation. What were the steps you took to bounce back from everything?
So, like I said, at the time, I had only like 152 to 200 followers on Instagram. So once I got out of the hospital, I was up to about 8,000 followers.
How did that happen?
And I just think it was just people just hearing about it in the city and was like, get well, Tiff, rest in peace, Tay. And I feel like some people was just coming to be nosy because I didn't have this platform for so long. I never had this many followers before. So now that he's gone and I'm in a hospital, and at times they was like putting me in the car with him, like, oh, well, her brother got shot. She was in the car with him. I was never in the car with him when he got killed.
So they're just, I'm going to say, assuming and putting together their own story about the situation that was going on with you and your brother. Oh, man.
But I got sick. I want to say I got sick from the funeral home.
Correct.
I'm not saying it was the funeral home fault, but that was the only thing that I did different other than I do every other day, besides getting up, going to work, and back home. And then just from there, it just went downhill for me. Like, because me and my brother, we was close.
Yes.
And I got an older brother, too, but he had been in jail for 13, 14 years. So
Hmm.
we didn't have that bond like me and my little brother had.
You know, family is everything. It's two things we really express on this podcast. It's family and mental health. When you lose a loved one like that, the thought process that goes through your head, it gets really weird at times. I had close to that similar situation. Thank God they made it out, but there's so many things that go through your head. Uh, Tell us some of the first things that went through your head when you started coming up and seeing these things.
So, like I said, we was real close.
Mhm.
And sometimes you got to watch what you say to people too,
Mhm.
even in the heat of the moment, because right before he passed away, he was telling me like, Tiff, you're doing too much. Chill out. You got to have self-control. And that's one of the things I remember him telling me. You have to have self-control. And I was like, I'm your big sister. You can't tell me what to do. And we're basically I'm arguing with him because he was a non-confrontational person.
Yes,
You really had to take him there for him
to get like that.
to get to a certain level of disrespect. And I never seen him disrespect nobody.
Hmm.
So my last words to him was, you can't tell me what to do.
Hmm.
As a matter of fact, don't never say nothing to me again.
Hmm.
And I blocked him on social media and blocked his phone calls from coming through.
Ew.
So now that was something that I had to live with, telling him don't never say nothing to me again, not thinking that would be the last words that I say
So,
to my brother. Don't ever say nothing to me again.
where do we go from here with that? Uh, Brother died in a violent moment.
Hmm.
Uh, I would before you came in. There's a podcast I was listening to, and the brother's out of Houston, and he expressed that he just lost someone. Uh, Good guy, he said, didn't do anything, but somebody I guess was just shooting, and he was in the way. Um, Going through this, over and over, we see this. Uh, are we, as a community, uh, becoming numb to a lot of this stuff that's happening?
I think is again before social media, you didn't hear about so many people getting killed. If you did, you
Yes.
heard about it in a newspaper. But just waking up and being able to see it,
Hmm.
it gets very depressing.
Over
Because
and over
yeah,
again.
because now you have to watch something that you're trying to overcome. Somebody is just now about to start their journey going through it. So it's sad.
Because of, I'm going to say, the reach that we all have, especially when you have a lot of social media followers, more and more you see of death and violent attacks and stuff like that. When it used to be, as you said, you only hear, stuff in the neighborhood or you see on the news.
Mm-hmm.
More and more we witness these things, the more and more depressed we get in seeing these things. And it's to the point now where a lot of people are showing these things. That should never be done. Someone showing the murders and everything that's happening. Are we, as a community, not just black, it's white, Hispanic, where what can we do? What can we do to get out of this? Because, um, as a lot of the youngsters say, they're on demon time. What can we do to get out of this?
And that's the whole thing because it's becoming a new normal. A lot of people is just like, I'm going to mind my business. I don't want to be the next
Yeah.
to, get killed. It ain't my business. I don't got nothing to do with that. Or if somebody got killed down the street, oh, we can't go there no more. Now we got to start hanging out over here. But the very same people that's saying we can't go here sometimes are part of the problem. So now you taking this from this place and bringing it over here, and it's just spreading all around.
Um, some of the a few of our guests come on, and we have these discussions. A lot of times, it has to do with some of the kids not having anything to do.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, yeah, we put them in sports and stuff like that, but sometimes sports isn't good enough, because once that season is over, what now? I don't know. We, we have certain answers, but we don't have all the answers. The things that you've been through and seen, and this is not just the only one that you've seen. We also in situations where we're out in the nightlife, uh, just being innocent bystanders and nothing to do with nothing, and you see this violent behavior
Mm-hmm.
right next to you, and you think of how lucky you are that you wasn't in the way. It becomes it becomes really depressing that you can't even go out anymore. Uh, if I go out, I'm leaving before 9 o'clock, 8 or 9 o'clock. I'm back home. Because this was what it come down to, and sometimes it don't matter what time you out there having a drink or whatever. Things just happen. Where where do we go with this? You yourself, you started DONTA um, grievance group.
Mm-hmm.
Tell us a little bit about that.
Okay, so Dante is decisive over negative things around me,
Mm.
and I named it after my brother because I feel like you have the power to change the things around you.
Hmm.
If you see you doing something wrong, how do you fix it? What can
Yes.
you do to fix it? And with me losing Tay, I went through a lot of things mentally when the password was right in front of my face the whole time. Help. And a lot of people is scared to ask for help. And I found a lot of resources by going to prison. I went to prison for 2 years. When I lost my brother, it was a time where I can just go out, go to work, be with my girls, go have a drink,
Hmm.
have a good time, hang out. But then it's like now I'm dealing with something that I'm suppressing and I don't want to talk about it,
Hmm.
but my friends, they're just giving me what they feel that I need to make me comfortable. They didn't know. They don't know. They just being friends, making sure I'm cool.
No one ever knows, how you really feel. Sometimes we just think we're doing the right thing by getting you out the house and, hey, come on, let's go have this drink, or let's go smoke one, let's go have something to eat. Um, by all means, everybody means well, but we don't know. And sometimes it takes, someone like you to really, hey, I'm not, nah, that ain't what I want to do. Or, you guys have to express to us what it is that you want, us to do and things like that. Because a lot of us don't know.
But then it goes back to, you can feel somebody's pain,
Yes.
like if somebody got killed across the street, you'll say, "Oh, sorry, sorry for their loss." But until it really happens to you, now you can sympathize or empathize with whatever that person is going through. So with me, my drinking went from it just got out of control.
And the drinking was just to,
It
it
was really
became.
to numb. What I thought it was doing was numbing the pain and suppressing it or whatever. Because when I had that drink, I felt like I was in a room by myself. Like nothing can bother me.
Hmm.
Nobody can say nothing to me. But I feel like my whole problem was it wasn't the drinking. It was just waking up facing reality.
Mm.
Having to wake up and know, like, so now I just want to drink, 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 and stay drunk.
Yeah.
And at the time, it had got so bad that I thought I was gaining a lot of things, which, nice car, get my hair done, outfit, hang out, be with my girls, get drunk, that I never realized the things that I was losing was of value. My family, my kids, a lot of people that, didn't want me around, didn't want to be bothered with me. So,
Going through that, where you feel as nobody wants to be bothered with you. Uh, at the same time, you had all these other things going on. What was that like?
um, to be honest, I had like I don't care attitude because I don't want to be bothered with you either. I'm going
Mm.
through something. If you can't accept the fact that I'm going through something, then we don't need to be around each other. But at the same time, I didn't realize how I was, you know, hurting my kids
Hmm.
because I would come home and I don't want the lights on. I don't want the curtains open. And it became such a habit that once things did start to clear up a little bit, now the kids sitting in the dark, and I'm like, "Why y'all sitting here with the lights out?" But that's what they was immune to because that's what they seen every day with me coming in. I don't want the
Wow.
lights on. I don't want to be, and nobody's communicating. I can be downstairs or I can be upstairs and my daughter can be downstairs.
Hmm.
And I can call her and instead of her coming to see what I want, she's texting me and we in the same
Same
house.
house.
But it never bothered me at the time. It was like, okay, hey, it is what it is.
A lot of a lot of families are going through this. Why is it that a lot of a lot of us don't go and talk to someone that's have the similar problems?
Well, I know speaking for myself,
Hmm.
when people was reaching out to me, oh, why don't you go see a counselor? Why don't you go get help? Why don't you? And I'm like, I'm not going to talk to no therapist. Can't nobody that I never sat down with tell me nothing about myself. They gonna think I'm crazy. If I tell them some of the things that's going through my head, they gonna think I'm crazy. So that was one of my reasons for not even, really trying to get the help that I know I needed at the time. So,
You know, this is especially black males. We go through this more than anybody. We don't talk to nobody. Black males experience this horror more than anybody on the planet. Uh, but we don't go and speak to nobody, and it's one of those things where it's trapped inside of you. It creates an anger. Sometimes there's things that a lot of black males did where they can't, speak about,
hmm
but it's in them and it's driving them. It's driving them to a level where sometimes you get sick for holding in this anger and all these things that you've been through. What level? Let me ask you this because you're a grief. I'm going to call you a grief counselor.
hmm
Uh, you got that going on, and on top of all of this, you went and got your LPN license.
hmm
You're doing hair.
hmm
All of these things, did that kind of keep your mind occupied on a bigger future?
Um, Only for so long.
Mhm.
Only for so long. Because again, you can't force nobody to get help.
Mhm.
They gotta want it.
Mhm.
So like in my grievance group, we watch a movie called The Rabbit Hole.
Okay.
And that's about husband and wife. They lose a child. He get hit by a car. The mother is, grieving hard, but the father is not showing no type of emotions at all. So right there, it shows you the difference between the grief between a woman and a man.
Oh.
Because it's like, because I'm hurt and I'm drinking, or I don't want to throw away this T-shirt that reminds me of my baby, and you want to clean it out. I'm thinking, oh, well, you're not really hurt anyway.
Mhm.
You're not hurt because you don't cry. You don't show no emotions. So, and when I watched this movie, I was like, I want to bring more men into the grievance group just to see, what they think, what their input is, how they feel about it. And for a minute, I tried to, do ladies' brunches and
Yeah.
tried to get a lot of people out to come. And a lot of people wasn't showing up like I expected them to show up. And I had got, I was getting frustrated at times to the point where it was like, oh, you can't come and support something that'll help you, but then you can go support the man across the street, or this is free, but you rather go pay
To do
to do something else
Yes.
that can help you. But then again, you can't force nobody to get help. They'll get it when they
When
want
they
it.
want you, you're absolutely right. Sometimes it takes a special person or a special situation, or as you said, you know, they have to just something within them just snap and say, okay, maybe I need to go and talk to this sister or brother.
Or you get to the point where you can't pick up that drink and you don't have nobody to talk to. Because, like I said, I did 2 years in prison.
Mhm.
And it was like every day I'm calling home. Oh, put my son on the phone. He don't want to talk. What you mean he don't want to talk? Tell him come get the phone. His mother on the phone. Then I had to sit back and think about it. Well, when you was out, you didn't want to talk as much. Now you want to talk every day. He's a kid. He want to go play. He want to, enjoy his kid time.
That kind of probably hit you pretty hard when you were faced with that and seeing the decisions. Damn, what did I do? You know, a lot of people go through this, and it don't really hit home until those kids. Uh, what was that like being away from your kids?
So I was down on 30th pre-release,
Hmm.
and I stayed like right in the projects,
Mhm.
not even 15, not even 10 minutes away from the prison.
Yes.
So that was the first time in my life that I ever felt so far away
And you was
and
just right.
disconnected when I'm only like 2 minutes away from home.
Jeez.
So, that dealt with a lot of, brought a lot of mental, decisions and issues up too. Like, what was I really this bad of a person that I can't get somebody to, come and visit? And I did get visits.
Mhm.
I got visits from my mom. She brought my kids every now and then.
Yeah.
And then at the time, I used to pray a lot. And one of my prayers was because I had a handicapped child, a child with cerebral palsy.
Hmm.
And I've been taking care of him since I was 16. I had him when I was 16. And he never been in, a nursing home, a group home. He always stayed with me. And one of my biggest prayers was every night, God, just don't let nothing happen to my baby while I'm in here.
Yes.
I hope I make it out of here to see my baby. Because again, I mean, people knew how to take care of him, but
Nobody
they
know how to take
couldn't
care of him
take
like
care of
mama
him
know how to take care
the
of him.
way that I take
Yes.
care of him.
Yes.
So that was, that was another thing that I had to deal with too.
You know, all these challenges that you had, uh, man, I, I'm stuck with this one. You know, all this that you faced, all this that you've done, and you still managed to come out on top. And you know, I'm going to say from the outside, you're doing okay. Uh, LPN, doing hair, grievance group, helping everybody else. On top of you have things going on within you that you care about other people. I mean, where does that come from?
Um, it just came natural. I just do something for myself or do something for the next person and just want, you know, the same kind of affection in return. And like with the whole nursing thing, it stemmed from my son with cerebral palsy because I was young going to the doctor and it was like, well, what is this? Well, what is that? Well, just asking questions. And I just really wanted the knowledge that I felt I needed to take care of this child. So it just went from there.
Um, it show it things kind of this kind of shows you're not a selfish person. Um, you have things going on within you, and you're helping others. You're giving love and affection and to others that need the help. You know, in the uh, in the hospitals you're working in the groups that you have. You're doing the hair. You're a therapist all the way around. Because I'm pretty sure that the people in the hospitals, they're having conversations with you. Just like in the beauty shop. Um, wow, you. But if anyone ever called you selfish, I don't think they know what the hell they talking about. Excuse my words, but doing that on top of the things that you've been through and going through, man, this is pretty deep, man. You know, this is this is pretty deep. Um, Now let's get back onto the kids. Uh, Being away, how did they, cope with everything?
Well, at the time, my daughter, she's 9 now. She had to be about 3, going on 4.
Hmm.
She didn't really understand. My son did because now they whole environment changed. You know, they was used to being at home with me where, you can go and make you a peanut butter sandwich or make you some noodles or make you whatever you want.
Had the freedom to do there.
Correct. So now they're staying over at my grandma's house.
Hmm.
And grandma's house have always been grandma's house. The doors have always been open. So now you got my 2 kids there, and then you probably got my cousin there with his 3 kids, and you know,
Hmm.
it's a whole bunch of kids there. So now it's not like he can go make a sandwich, bite it, put it down, and come back and get it.
Hmm.
So it's to the point now where he's like, my mom, I'm calling home, and she was like, oh, this boy done got so big. And I'm like, big like what? He's so fat. How he get fat? He hides food down. What you mean he hide food?
Mm.
Because now he's putting stuff down and he's not able to go back and get it. It's
So
gone
yeah, so he hired it to save it for, that's
for later. And then at the time, I want to say my daughter, she was young herself.
Mhm.
And I feel like the parenting roles had switched. She's a kid herself, not even really being able to enjoy kid things.
Was it you
So
was trying to take care of the little the
she was
brothers?
she was taking care of not only them but me too.
Mm.
You know, at an early age, she should be out playing or being with her friends or just living life on life terms. And here it is, she's only like 14, 15, and she's putting money on my books and making sure the phone got money on it. And she and like I'm a hairstylist,
Yeah.
but my passion is lashes.
Hmm.
And she do lashes too, but she started when she was like 16, and she's 21 now.
She's been watching you. Um, she's been watching you and picked up on these values to the point where, okay, mom's not here. Let me go ahead and do it. And you know, is this something she caught and that came naturally, or is this something you taught her to do?
I don't think I ever really sat down and taught her how to do it. And I just believe that as a parent, your kids watch what you do,
Hmm.
whether it's good or whether it's bad. And they going to pick and choose what it is they want to do. Because, like I said, I was drinking heavy.
Yeah.
And she seen me drinking. But she know where drinking took me. So she, you can't even really get her to drink. I seen her one time on social media and she was out with her friends and they was taking shots and she ain't even take her shot. And I was like,
She's she's on her way to something
cause
special.
she know like, oh, too many of this, I'ma be my mother. If I drink too much, she just seen it, not only with me, but just being around family.
No peer pressure and none of
I
that.
come from a
She's
dysfunctional family. And I'm not saying that's where I picked the drinking up at,
Mhm.
but that's where I first seen it at.
A
I can
lot of us do.
recall picking up my grandma's beer at an early age.
Yeah. A lot of us come from these households. Um, a lot of us don't get it right coming from these households. But for your daughter to make that switch and get it right at an early age, that's very rare. Uh, a lot of our youngsters, they never get it right. And it's to the point where a lot of a lot of the community is being hurt by a lot of our youngsters not getting this thing right.
Hmm.
Um, us as adults, we know what we want our kids to go and be, but sometimes the outside influence takes over and shifts everything, and a lot of the values go down the hill. Um,
And, like I said, she's been doing lashes since she was 16.
mm,
She's 21, 22,
mm.
22 now. And probably about 2 years ago, she took the decision to move to Florida.
Oh wow!
And, we sit around and we be like, oh, we getting out of Cleveland. I'm leaving. I'm moving. And she came to me one day and was like, I'm moving to Florida. I'm like, girl, bye. You ain't going nowhere. And it was like in the next 3 months, she was packed up with no family, nobody out there. And at the time, she had one baby.
Hmm.
And her and her boyfriend, they packed up and they moved to Florida. And I'm like, she'll be back
Hmm.
because she don't know nobody out there.
Hmm.
But she's doing her lashes. She just had another baby. He'll be one in April. And she's an amazing mother. Like,
Well, for her to do that and continue to make it, and she may call back, Mom, I need this, I need that, but to be doing it on her own without that has to come back to you. Yes, she has her other half there with her, but still, who does that? A lot of our, especially at that young age,
mm-hmm.
you know, okay, you want better and everything. Okay.
And she also still have her dad in her life.
That's a major part as well.
Yeah, like she can call her dad and talk to him about anything. They have a good relationship. And I think that stems from too when she was younger.
Hmm.
You know, sometimes as women we get in our feelings, and I would try to keep her away from him.
Mm.
And I think as she got older, the bad things that the bad pictures that I painted him out to be, I figured she just wanted to see it for herself.
Hmm.
And she found out, like, this is an amazing man. Like, this is my dad. And he's there for her every step of the way. Like, she's grown. He still buy her Christmas gifts. And she got kids. And I'm not buying you no gifts. You got babies
Got
now.
babies, yeah.
But, so.
You guys were co-parenting together. A lot of us, we go through that. What is it about us that is it? What is it about us that we go through these things with our children's father and moms that drives us to the point where we want to cause our children to suffer by saying this and that? Um, is it the trauma that we've been through that you think is continuous going into this relationship? I never understood where does that come from with us?
I mean, and then again, it goes back to if you're doing something wrong and nobody tells you you're doing it wrong, how you gonna get it right the next time?
Mm.
So it's like my dad wasn't in my household. My dad wasn't with my mom coming up.
Hmm.
It was just my mom and my grandma and my aunties. And I felt like, she did a good job, but I didn't know. I don't know what it took for her to get to the point of, I'm going to just do it on my own. But she made it look so easy that once I had my own kids, my mind telling me, oh, well, your family did it. Your mother did it. Your auntie did it. You can do it too. You don't need a man, to help you raise these kids.
It it always puts us in a situation uh, to where I hear a lot of guys say, a lot of older men say this, when that boy don't have his dad or any father figure around, there's something in him. There's a type of rage that builds up in this kid, and all he wants to do is hurt, hurt, hurt. And over again, our 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 psychologists and everybody that's into the study of black males, they repeatedly say these things. It's because he doesn't have a male figure in his life, which is why he's causing all this pain and this terror to others. Um, with girls, it's different. How do you mold girls to not have that rage, when they don't have dad in their life? Just I know you not just speaking of, from a woman.
Yeah, I think you just gotta see it.
Hmm.
If you come up in an angry household again,
Hmm.
you're gonna gravitate to what it is you want to do.
Hmm.
So sometimes it takes you back, because I know people that then been in a two family household and had their mom and their dad, and they always seen, they probably seen their mom getting beat by their dad,
Yes.
and was like, you know what, I don't like this. This is the type of, I don't want to be this person. I want to stay away from guys like this. But then on the flip side, you can find somebody that's similar to your dad, but it's like, I'm not going to do the things that my mom did so I can avoid getting hit. So it's a two-way thing. So I think it's just really about how you feel about going about it.
Um, I'm going there with you with these because your mom to recover from these street life things. and you're doing your thing in life. You're on top, successful daughter. You had a child leave before you did. You experienced the violence of the streets from your brother's passing. So these questions that I'm asking, I know they're difficult, but I want to thank you for answering these and coming out and uh, giving a lot of these viewers some type of clearance on how to deal with these situations. Grievance, as you say, the grievance group. Um, let's touch on that for the last time before we wrap this up.
Hmm.
Uh, what are your plans at taking the grievance group to?
So, sometimes we can get distracted by like things that's around us. And, by me working, I fell off with it. Like, I make the jackets, I make grave blankets, I make, you know,
Yes.
I just got my foot in like so many doors. I want to do so many things. Oh, I want to make the fans for the funeral home. I want to go to the funeral home and do the hair. I want to make the jackets. I want to do this, that. I just lost all touch
With it.
with the grievance group because it was like, okay, well, I'm throwing these free brunches. I'm trying to get these people out. Nobody is really coming anyway. And I never thought about the few people that I did have,
Yeah.
how
'Cause that,
they needed me
yeah.
just as much as I need them because I lost my son February 15 of 22. And I thought I had it all figured out. I thought like, okay, I can get through this. I can do this. And it's still hard on me. And I feel like seasonal depression is like it's real. And that's why I told you I took the break from social media
Yeah.
for
Much needed.
30 days. I'm starting with 30 days because when I wake up in the morning, the first thing I do is drop to the floor and pray. Thank God for the things I got.
Yeah.
I'm grateful, and then right from there, instead of me getting up and getting my day started, if I know I have to be somewhere in an hour or two, I'm going to get back into bed, and the first thing I'm going to do is go on social media.
It takes a hold of you.
And you thinking you on there for 10, 15 minutes, and you look up, you done been over here for a whole hour.
You're aware of your addiction.
Yeah, and the depressed part comes in when, you go on social media and you could see somebody that you grew up with or somebody that's doing something amazing.
Yes.
Once you start looking at the pictures and you don't see, the vision that you came to see, it becomes a problem. Once you start asking yourself, well, why I don't got a new car? I go to work every day. Well, why I don't got the big house? Or why I can't get my business off the ground?
These are the things that all of us, including myself, you start to, like I was asking you, how did you get these followers? I'm still sitting at 100 something, and it's like I can't dedicate my time enough to social media to do this, but I have to. So I have to start speaking to people like you and others that are doing this, and it's a challenge to me.
Yeah. But then again, you wouldn't have never knew how I got the followers
Right.
if you never asked.
You're right.
And only thing I could do was be honest. I never had these many followers. I don't even know half of my followers. So some of them is coming to be nosy. Some of them is really coming to give their condolence. Some of them is really coming to support, to buy a jacket, to, join a grievance group, to, ask questions about how did I do this or how did I do that.
Yes.
But then it was like, what do you do from here?
Yes.
Do you go through and block everybody you don't know? Or do you post what you want the world to know? Because can't nobody judge you off of your social media unless you put the content out there.
Yeah,
So
you're right.
if I'm a stripper in a nightclub and I don't want too many people to know, only way you're gonna find out is if you walk into the strip club and actually see me dancing. But if I'm uploading it on my social media, it's a chances that 11K people know what it is I do in my nightlife. So now that's why I'm taking the time to step back so I can try to rebrand. How do I want to come now? I want to come Grievous group jackets, and before my brother was murdered, no, after he was murdered, I used to journal a lot.
Yeah.
I used to journal a lot. And I would get on social media, and some people would say good things about him, and some people would say bad things about him. But the bad things they said, I never seen that side of him. So it was like,
You won't see that side.
yeah, because if he was out here, having sex with all these women, I wasn't there when he was having sex with these women.
Yeah.
If he was just, nothing person, I only knew him to be who he was to me.
Yes.
So I felt like I have to get the story out there. I have to tell my version of
That's right.
who he was.
That's
I
right.
have to tell the world how we grew up, where it started from, how he became to be the person that he was to the day he died. So I turned it into a book. And I'm struggling with the book a little bit. I pick it up, put it down. I want this in there. No, let me take it out.
It's a lot to cover.
Yeah, but I notice I can't write the book to get it out. I have to set the goal and go towards the book. So if I want this book out by April, I have to set a date. I want this book out April 8th. So now I have to pace myself. Well, you got to do this by this date. That's the only way it's going to come out. Because if I never set an out date, it'll never be one. Because I keep picking it up, putting it down, because I feel like I got a lot of time.
Going through everything, and you're writing this book. Do you think that a lot of it too is you have these emotions and these feelings and these struggles about everything, and sometimes you don't want to go through all these things over again, or is it just that work?
I think it's just something that I like to do. It's just I love to write. So it's just something that I like to do.
It's taking you to a place that a lot of women, as I say, it's not just black women anymore, white women, Hispanic, you know, everybody has the same story, and your story is needed. Some people don't have it, or they have it in them, but they haven't reached the point that you reach to be able to deal with it and want to write and talk about it and help others with it. Uh, where do you see this book going once you finally complete it?
I think it'll touch a lot of people because, they'll get to see a lot about how I grew up, and because I hold nothing back. And I done read a couple of books from local people, and, they'll say, oh, well, oh, my mom was a crackhead, but we still ate every day. So with my book, I'm coming straight forward. Okay, yeah, my mom was a drug addict. This is what she used to do when she got high, because I want you to see, like, it ain't where you at, it's where you going. And like I said, she been sober for, almost 3 years now, and she's an amazing grandma.
Excuse me. I'll turn. Going through these things in life, we witness our parents. As your daughter witnessed you, it has to be some type of, especially the African American community. We come out of these situations and we come out on top. We come out to be stronger people, And we don't tend to let a lot of things bother us anymore after we deal with what we go through and move on in life. Um, you being who you are, the lessons that you've learned, and then where you're going to, what can you honestly recommend for a young woman going through these things in life?
You know, nobody is perfect. You got to move at your own pace. You know, you got to watch your surroundings. You got to do the things that make you happy. Because if you try to make everybody happy around you, you'll never have that place to really take care of yourself. Find the things that you like and, you know, just get in tune with it, whether it's cutting hair or cutting grass. You know, you got to find the things that you like and don't be afraid to say no. A lot of us do things because we feel like we obligated to do it, or oh, this my brother, or oh, this my sister, or oh, I gotta go over here and take her to pick her baby up because she took me to get my baby. You know, sometimes you just gotta say no. Like we gotta learn how to say no. And that was one of my biggest problems. Like I didn't know how to say no. I felt like I had to, you know, go do grandma hair, help this person with an LLC, or help this person do this, and then later on down the line, I'm complaining about how I didn't have time for myself or I wasn't able to do this for myself when in reality, I had 24 hours in a day. I could have told this person no, I could have told this person no, and then I could have found time for myself. But like I said, even the times that we on social media,
Is it because you're such a big person with a big heart?
I think it, you know, that really don't got nothing to do with it. It's just really about just being able to help somebody, because somebody that don't even care at all and don't have a heart or no type of feelings at all can go and do the same things that I'm doing it, because we don't know the motive. You know, they probably need you one day and say, oh, well, you know, remember I gave you that ride, or remember I did this for you. So, yeah,
Always
sometimes,
bringing it back up.
yeah, you just got to find what it is that's bothering you. Like I said, with the whole social media thing, once you start looking at pictures and you don't see the vision in the picture no more, and you start asking why I don't got this or why I don't got that, it's time to take a break, because with social media, what people do is they tend to put up that new car. They tend to put up that new business, but they never post
The
what
struggle.
it took to get there,
Yep.
you know?
You're exactly right.
Because
You're exactly right.
when I got my LPN license, I would post pictures in my, you know, my as I was going to school in my nursing uniform and stuff like that. And then when I actually got my license, I posted it, but then I had took it down.
Mhm.
And I waited like 2 days and I posted it again, because I really had to think about what I was posting.
Mhm.
Because it was like, it wasn't a walk through the park. I had a child with cerebral palsy. I had to figure out how I was going to get to school, who was going to get the kid. It wasn't a straight walk. And being a felon, it was some things that I had to do. Like I had to keep running down to the clerk of courts, BCI reports, background checks, drug tests. Even after getting my license, it was like, oh, well, you know, because you got these DUIs, you still might be subject to drug tests. So, or because one thing about nursing school, majority of the schools will let you in. They'll let you in probably even with a fake diploma.
A lot of people
Because,
don't know that.
yeah, the school will let you in. Some people can get through with fake credentials. They want your money.
Mhm.
They don't, you know, you can go to the school, but you're going to pay for the school. Now, you don't got nobody to, you know, tell you, oh, well, this is how I started school.
Yeah.
Because with nursing, there's a lot of disqualifications. So you can't have certain stuff on your record. But some of the schools don't care.
Yeah.
They're going to let you through the school. Now, you done took out all these loans and put all this money into going to nursing school, and don't nobody care you got a 3.0, 4.0. A good nurse is a good nurse.
Mm-hmm.
So now you out of school and you sitting to take your boards. Now you can't go take your boards because you got theft on your record or you got an assault on your record. And it's like, well, why didn't the school tell me this? Now you got to start all over again.
Wow.
You got to try to figure out, how do I get this expunged? Because some stuff can be expunged and some stuff can't be expunged.
These are the things from everyday people that a lot of us need to hear. You know, a lot of people that make it and they're at the top, they don't let these things be known. These are real stories from real people that's sharing, hey, man, you can do this. Look, it's going to take this, and that. We don't get to hear a lot of this stuff. And when we do hear, it's like, okay, now that's more knowledge that I have that I can pass on to somebody else, because I never knew that. I never knew that.
And I played with it. I played with it for years. I'd have been to probably like 3-4 different nursing schools. So now that this is what I want to do, I'm actually a nurse. I'm taking it serious.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I want to go back to school. Now it's like, oh, you got to file for the borrower's forgiveness because you done maxed out on your student loans. Now you got to do this.
You're faced with another challenge.
Because we so quick to go sit down and, oh, financial aid going to pay for it. We sign off. Half of the time, we don't even know what we signing off for. We just know this is what we want at the time. But to move forward, it's like, okay, now what do I do next? You know, how long do I got before I got to start paying this money back? Now you making this, you know, and they a lot of people think nurses make a lot of money. Like, oh, it's not as, you know, it's not as much as it used to be, you know, when our parents was coming out of school. So, and then nursing school is so easy now. It's making it easy for everybody to go through because
of the demand, is it?
I think it's more because, you know, we don't do our homework on certain things. Like, it's probably so many people out here that's good at nursing school that went through nursing school that's probably stuck somewhere. Like, I have to get this off my record, because once you go sit down to actually fill out your application for your boards, they ask you, do you have a felony? Do you have a misdemeanor? And if you got any of those things, you have to submit a letter of explanation. And in this letter of explanation, you have to tell them whether you got it expunged or not. You have to sit there and tell them all of the things you went through, because now you have to get a BCI report. All of this stuff is going to show up. Some people slip through, some people don't. But you hate to get into the field and now they suspending your license because why you didn't tell us that you had this. So I always tell people, they don't care. They want you to be honest. They want to see how much of an honest person you is. So if you fighting with something on your record, let them know. Don't pay all that money to go to school and then just be stuck right there. Because even as a nurse with my felony, they won't let me travel because I have a felony.
Oh.
So it's certain things. And I didn't pay for the background. I'm like, oh, yeah, this going to be a piece of cake. I'm about to start. You know, I want to go to Miami. I had it all planned out. This summer, I'm going to Miami. I'm going to see my grandkids. While I'm out there, I'm going to be making me a couple dollars. But when I submitted my application to the board, it was like, oh, no. You have to get this expunged. So now I done paid for another BCI report. I done paid for an application to travel. And that's like $200.
Yeah.
I could have put towards anything. But I wouldn't have never knew that if I wouldn't have took the steps to go forward. So now I could tell the next person, okay, well, before you submit your application, even though you got this on your record, even though you got that, see if you can get it expunged because they wrote me a letter. Okay, well, just get it expunged and we can move forward from there.
Wow. It's a bright future ahead for you. You
Yeah.
know, with everything that you have going on and the wisdom that you have, you're gonna. Me personally, me seeing you're gonna do well. I see that because you given so much and you have a lot more to go. So you have kids in Miami, grandkids. Uh,
Yeah, but like I said, we don't know unless we ask. Like I said, you want to know how I got all those followers.
no,
If
no,
you wouldn't
had to
ask,
ask. Yeah,
and I told you.
yes,
So,
you did. Yeah, and you let me
and
know what's gonna come with it.
I hate when people hold back information.
A lot of them
Like,
do.
what purpose does that serve? Because what's meant for me can't nobody take that away. And
Hmm.
people will be in my DM. How did you start? How did you start your notary license? I sent them right on over. How did you get this? I sent it right on over because me telling you how to not, me withholding information from you. It's not. I'm not blocking my blessings.
Well, a lot of them feel that it's
A lot of people
competition.
scared that if I tell you, you gonna be bigger than me.
Yep. And I can't I don't understand it, especially we're speaking about this social media thing. It's not costing you nothing to post something when you see somebody doing positive. It don't cost you nothing to like this person post or whatever. It don't cost you anything. Now I don't get moved by it if somebody don't like or share the positivity that I got going on or whatever. Don't matter to me because outside of this social media shit, excuse my words, I have great things going.
A real life, huh?
That's it. That's it. I go walk out, and be just as happy. So
Yeah, you just gotta know you just gotta know your breaking point.
yes.
So I felt like the 30 days is what's best for me at the time. And people, oh well, if you off social media, how your people's gonna reach you to get their lashes done, or how they gonna get a jacket, or how there's ways to get in touch with me,
Hmm.
cause somebody out of all them 11K, somebody got my number
Yes.
that you follow
Yes.
that you can call and say, well, what's Tiff's number?
Hmm.
And 30 days is just within these 30 days, I'm not being still.
Hmm.
I'm trying to come up with, better quality of jackets, just different things that I can do within these 30 days. I want to be able to come back and say, did y'all miss me? Well, this what I was doing while I was gone. I got this done, I got that done. For the first time the other day, I was able to call the student loan people to see about my student loan.
Yeah.
I was able to actually sit down and pay some bills
Yes.
over my phone. And I was able to wash 2, 3 loads of clothes. And it's stuff that I can do every day, but sitting there, I'd be like, oh, I'll do it later. And by the time I know it, it's time to go pick the kids up from school. By the time I get them, they want something to eat. By the time all of this done, oh, I got to be in the bed because I got to go to work. Now I'm laying here, but I'm still playing on social media.
You keeping your mind very occupied and steady moving forward with things. You're not keeping yourself down and trapped uh, with the things that you've been through. Uh, you stand on that straight and narrow path, and you're getting things done. Social media, yeah, I don't need that. Let me shut this down. Uh, Job well done, I'ma say. Uh, Street recovery, you're a perfect example of what people can be when they leave and have these issues in life, going through these things, not issues, but going through these things. You're a perfect example of this, and I think your story need to be told more, which is why I wanted to have you on. You're not. I'm not going to say strong black woman, but you're a blessed black woman, and you're rising to the top. everything for you is going to happen. Is going to happen because you're giving so much, as I said. Miss Padgett, thank you for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
This story is amazing. I know you social media. You went black for us. You're going black, but do you want people to have your information or everything, or?
So, my name is the Competition Sister on Instagram, the _ competition _ sister, or you could just put in my first name, last name. It'll show up as well. And I'm also on Facebook. I didn't delete my Facebook because I'm not too moved by,
Nobody's really on Facebook.
Yeah, like my daughter always say, it ain't nothing but old people. but I'm on Facebook too, Tiffany Padgett. And
what's next for you, sister?
Just trying to take it one day at a time. I'm just working on this book, just trying to get myself together mentally, physically, and just taking time out to do for me.
Well deserved. Welcome to Street Recovery, and thanks for coming out.
Thank you for having me.
Peace, y'all. Peace. How was that?
It was